Welcome to the Don't Be Mad podcast. I am, of course, Mr. Don't Be Mad, and today I have a very dope guest with me. I have one of CT's probably most consistent, dopest, I would say, videographers in the last 10 years. I have Mr. Escobar in the building.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
What's going on, brother? Thanks
more.
for actually coming back to do this over.
You know what? It happens for a reason, right?
Yeah, everything happens for a reason.
We here.
And we're going to have a better conversation than we did last time, even though I was thrilled with our conversation last time. So I don't know.
There's always room for more. we cut it off because of time. We have way more to talk about. So
hell yeah, we was actually going there that day.
A lot. I was like, let me know if I get off topic. But
yo, you was going into politics. You was going into fucking everything I could think of. You was talking about. But that's what's up. That's why I asked you to come back.
Thank you.
Because I knew it was gonna be a dope episode. I knew actually people want to hear what you're saying. Cause the other day I was doing Lyft and I picked up Melissa. You know Melissa, the makeup artist?
Yeah, yes.
And she like, you doing Esco? I want to come.
Oh, word.
I'm like, yeah, you want to come? Just hit me up. I'm down. You could definitely come through. That should be dope because eventually I'm going to start doing these live. So
that's dope.
I don't mind having people actually here. I don't mind them jumping in.
Right.
None of that, like, do it if you here. Like, you know what I'm saying? You actually brought some guests with you today.
Right.
So if they ever want to say anything, feel free to just jump in,
Absolutely.
guys. Don't be shy. Y'all don't have to be sitting there silent or anything, you know?
That's a great thing about the platform, though. That's it's supposed to be a conversation.
Yeah, so, Mr. Escobar, let's talk about you.
Let's do it.
let's talk about Esco. Like, you know, this is your podcast, so let's get to know Esco. Like, how long ago did you start doing video, or what made you start doing video, should I say?
I guess, so officially in business for 10 years, video at least 15.
I called that shit. I said a decade.
Yeah.
Boy, nice.
So yeah, I think most people, if you just think about it, you would know, at least consistency wise, and as a business. But 15 years from when I picked up a camera and started working towards even the idea of filming and editing and showcasing some of it. But in entertainment, 2001, 2002. That's when I started with audio. Yep.
Okay.
Engineering.
Yeah, that's what you said the last podcast that you started doing and like being a producer. Is that right?
The first thing I did was I after the instrumental phase and all that stuff. I mean, I learned how to record with a very primitive mic mixer to a CD burner that recorded live, right? And then MTV Generator came out.
Okay.
And that enabled you to make beats.
For y'all producers. Like, I don't really know too much about this, but I know for y'all producers that are listening.
I think that inspired a whole generation of producers.
I heard a lot about that. I'm just not sure exactly what it is, but I heard about it.
It's like Fruit Loops, and the original Fruity Loops, but it was on the PlayStation.
Okay.
But it was dope. Yeah, you good. But it enabled you to, like, it was basic, but it was like the basics of how to make a beat. So it was dope. I did it, and I got used to it, and then I got more inspired to do more, fit in my closet into, using my...
So you did that for 10 years? Because you said you started this 10 years ago, and you started that in 2001. So 9-10 years you was doing that?
I guess, but it was more like practice or a hobby. I didn't have any...
your friends and family, you wasn't really...
It was people that I met. I met a lot of people. It was just... I didn't have the construct, and I didn't have the business model to even think it could be done. It was a very different time. Like, recording studios had to be... If we weren't here just right, there was no such a thing.
Shout out Just Right.
There was not a lot of people recording on computers. Were there technology-wise since the 80s, but for the consumer level, when they got smart and they started making consumer-level stuff, I don't remember anybody. I don't even remember who did any studio time at that time. I think it was just me. And then in 2004, 2005, when I started expanding my services, I learned about other producers and people like Grouch from the East. I'm talking...
Throwing it back 20 years. Okay, let's go.
So there's a lot, and I never got to meet Mojo till the last probably decade too. But I know he's been doing it for a long time too. But he actually...
I can't wait to get Mojo. Model. He procrastinated like a motherfucker to come on this podcast. And I'm like, bro, what up? Yeah. Like, he asked me to host his party tonight. And I'm like, yo, I'll host. You got to come on podcast.
I'm stopping by.
Oh, you got we
Yeah,
going
I feel like we're in
together, bro.
Hollywood right now. Like, do a podcast, go to a mix.
That's how we gotta do it
you know what I mean?
nowadays, right?
Absolutely.
That's exactly how I feel. Like, that's why I'm thinking about actually doing a live podcast at the end of the mix and shoot.
That'd be dope. With an
Like,
audience?
yeah, with an audience, everybody who's there. Because the mix and shoot, what it is like a vibe. So everybody who comes there usually be vibing. It's not a very packed event at all. Because everybody thinks it's just for models, and it's not just for models.
No,
it's for anyone who wants to network.
It's what I call a clinic.
Exactly.
So people not been doing it, but there's a lot of that. It's not promoted. The way you promote it, it mixes, like, it opens the door for everybody. Usually they call it a clinic, and it's like a producer's clinic, or it's not the clinic you're thinking about.
I'm trying to get it where I could take it anywhere, and that's building the page, and I could go to Florida, I could go to Cali.
We spoke about South by Southwest last
South
time.
by
Like, if you want to
Southwest.
do, and I don't know if you want me to repeat your formula, people steal ideas,
actually,
but
we're going to get to that because we're going to talk
dope.
about all of that. But, yeah, I do have some ideas for South by Southwest. Unfortunately, it's not going to be able to get pulled off this year.
All right.
But definitely going to do it next year with a vengeance. But, like, yeah, that was one of my ideas. But let's go back to, like, your business ways. Like, you said you wasn't really business structured.
Yeah.
I'm back when you was doing music. But, like, as far as I know you, and I've known you for, like, a decade, you've been doing videos, you always kept it business, and you always had, like, a structure to your thing. You send the storyboard, y'all work it out, y'all agreed on price, and your prices was always the price, and it never really changed. You never really bargained with anyone.
No, I mean, bargain is a bad word. Negotiation, true negotiation. There's no way no business ever doesn't negotiate. It's just what people call negotiation is not what it is.
Okay.
It's not, calling the pizza place and saying how much is a slice? $2. That's too expensive. That's not negotiating. That's just you being, whatever. But then now you put yourself in the place when you can just say, I love your pizza, I can't afford it. You don't know. The owner might be like, come in, I'll give you a slice. Tell all your friends. So that's not negotiation. That's just you trying to yourself into something cheaper. That's not how it works. So that is kind of like low-key bargaining.
It's like ignorance.
Yeah, it's just scammy, and it's just people don't have the structure. We don't live in a structured state. We don't have people in certain tiers.
I like how you said that. We don't live in a structured
We don't. We don't.
That's perfect saying for Connecticut. Like, I've never heard that perfect or for Connecticut.
Because Connecticut is like an orphan market. Like, we don't have a dad, per se. We don't have a Jay-Z. We don't have a Biggie. We don't have even Boston got, what's the dude that co-owns this, with the Source? Is it the Source?
What is the fucking Benzino? Yeah, Benzino.
So, we don't have, we do have people doing a lot of great work, but we're talking about, like, creating like millions of dollars of opportunities. Like, right now, there's a lot of people working.
A lit person. Like, there's people that's coming up. There's people that's put in the work in the last 10 years. And there's people like you. There's people like other people like you. I would shout out Chris Webby. Like, that's one of the main names from Connecticut. I'm sure there's other names, but, like, he's one of the ones that's consistent.
Yeah, he's a touring machine.
He done put on tours around the world, like, literally.
Right. So we can't measure in dollars, but yeah, he's created opportunities more than anybody could say, touring wise, just what it costs to put things together and the people that have to get involved. It's created opportunities. But I think we got robbed. It's not the artist's responsibility. It's just he's doing as much as he can with what he got. Mm-hmm. I'm doing as much as I can with what I got. Mm-hmm. And there's always room for improvement and all that, but, like, we're just not in the market that people are looking to invest. It's like even Austin, Texas. There's not a lot. Who's from Austin, Texas? Nobody. Right. So there's a lot of artists that feel like we do. They're like, what are we doing? Like, nobody. You come here, you get money from us tonight, and then you leave. And I'm like, that's what we go through. We feel like people come, get the bag, and leave, but we just don't have the
because Connecticut is good for that. Like, there's always an artist in the Foxwoods or Mohegan. Yeah. There's always an artist in the Oakdale. And it's like, even with the radio, I heard that a lot of music before it gets broken or before it's considered a hot record, it goes through markets like Connecticut. If it's hot in Connecticut, it's gonna blow. Like, basically, like,
that says a lot about who we are, though. If you can get successful here and hit the ceiling here, whatever you take, and you'll be able to really grow because there's a bit of a boot camp effect.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to basically it's like surviving in the desert in economic terms. And if you could do
that's
that,
perfect way to say it.
yeah. But I mean, and it's not just one person's responsibility. The markets are kind of predetermined too. Like, we complain about 93.7, right? But that's a CBS radio. It's not some radio station that came out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So CBS radio still has programming, predetermined programming policies. I know programmers have a certain freedom of what they pick, what songs they pick, but at the end of the day, radio is a billboard, and they have to go by what CBS business model.
Yeah, whatever they say goes.
Right. So yeah, people have certain open, they can make certain decisions, but like, and I admit it, I used to be one of those people when I didn't know anything to be like, screw the radio. I don't really care about what they got to do and what there must be hating or you must have to pay somebody. I mean, you always got to pay, but not in that way, not payola. I'm talking you got to spend money.
You got to spend money to market your record. Yeah. You got to spend money to market yourself, even if it's on Instagram to start.
Right. It just got to look like you're not scared to spend some money because this isn't. If you hobbyist, then count your every penny and do it. And there is that 1% chance. I'm being very conservative on that one. 1% chance that someone's gonna run into you that can change your life, right? Mm-hmm. That can look at you and say, "Hey, you know what? I'll give you $1 million and do what you like." But you'll die before that happens.
100% true. That's
so
100% true.
People want to see you spend something. Like even if you got you lost $50, but if you care about what you do and you spend it on that, then But people have to see you doing that in a natural place.
And honestly, I learned that in so many games. Like, isn't every game that you have to like not be scared to spend your money to market yourself or to put yourself out there. You can't be scared to take a little loss to make a bigger win at the end of the day. So like every market is like that. So that's a fire thing that you brought up. But speaking of CBS, like just so you said that, like when they have to play a certain amount of records.
Yeah, they have a structure.
They have to play a certain amount of records each hour. They have to hit everybody's protocol. Like, that record has to be played every hour for 8 hours straight. And that's just how it works. Like, so you can't be mad when you know a DJ or you know someone who works on the radio and play my record. You got to go through a whole loop.
1,000 artists emailing, like, yo, like, it's just, I think DJs have but they are doing that, like Santo, DJ Michi, which I met during a video shoot like 8 years ago. I seen him go from, if I'm not mistaken, don't misquote me, but I think he was still interning, but he was very focused about what he wanted to do. He had a long-term plan.
And look how high up he went. He wasn't
humbly.
He wasn't intern.
I ran into him in Texas with Ricky Tan. Shout out to Ricky Tan, one of my oldest clients that I've had for a while. And executed that, And
you had Ricky Tan for a while?
Yeah, we did like 4 videos in the span of like 6 months.
That's dope.
Yeah.
He's dope. I like him. I met him a few times. We had dope conversations every time I met him.
Yeah.
He's been doing a lot of things. He actually back in Connecticut now, right?
Oh yeah? I think so. I know he moved around, but he has a very interesting story too, and narrative, but I mean, just, not to get into that too much, but but this is what kind of educated me about our market and helped me keep developing how I approach my market.
Your market.
Yeah.
So like over that time, you've managed to go pretty much everywhere. You've been to LA a few times.
Like
you've been to
times.
Texas. You've probably been everywhere. Like, do you get booked from a LA artist or do you get booked from like a CT artist and they take you out there?
I mean, depends. So the way I started traveling was with BY Abyss.
Okay. Shout out Biz.
From Mercenary Gods back in the day, another what I would call still a legend in Connecticut hip hop, at least for the volume. And so he, when I was able to travel freely throughout the states, we went to Louisiana. So we were trying to figure out a way to do business in other places, but trying to take in the overhead from the trip and the travel costs and just make it make sense. Like, how do I get work in LA? LA is full of people like me, or probably even more talented, obviously. And I can charge probably a little less. I don't know about now. The cost of living is pretty shitty right now, but why would you hire me? But I mean, there's rarely, it doesn't happen all the time. I do get one client that's like, I need you here. I pay for flight, I pay for everything, and the video, right? So that's rare, that's dope.
Yeah.
But what I do is, if I find a client in a certain area, if I go like when I went with BY, I do at least 5 projects. So that way, the cost can be spread out throughout 4 or 5 people. So, you know, they said the overhead for LA, if you're being tight, is to say $1,200, right? With flight, hotels, and a decent car to move around in, right? Let's say $1,200. That's the overhead to be there. So if you hire me, that's your overhead too. So it's like, I don't need. I might as well just pay somebody in LA. If you split that 1,205 people, that's like 200. You know, my math is shitty, I know, but it's not $1,200. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just makes more sense. So what I do is I try to. I call them tours, right? I'm not an artist, but I call them video tours. So if I go to LA, I try to get clients in Vegas, LA, and the Bay Area.
Okay,
yeah,
that's kind of smart.
So
you don't book your ticket till you like know how many bookings you're gonna have.
Yeah.
So pretty much if like I say like, yo, Esco, how much you gonna charge me to go to LA to shoot this podcast?
I'll be like, what date? And then when you give me that date, you have nothing that week, then I will start reaching out to my LA clients and say, hey, I might be in town, because I don't solicit, I don't hit them with the, yo, we gotta get this working. I don't do that. I hate it. I'm not a salesperson. But I just put the bug in their ear. I'm like, hey, I might be in town. Do you have anything in mind? Sometimes they're like, not right now, and that's where it stops, because I'm not a solicitor. But sometimes they're like, I was about to hit you a week from now. I do need a single. I wanted to do it this date. I think I can make it happen. Boom. So if I got 2 people signed up, and I get back to you and say, all right, cool. Right now, your split's going to be 200 on top of the video rate.
Oh, I get what you did there.
Yeah.
So you take that 1,200 and you break it down.
Yeah.
And you split it up.
Yeah, and that's just being conservative with, like,
that's being a nice guy.
And no, it's still selfish. It's for my own benefit, because it's always helpful to be outside of your market and not stick to, like, it's just good to be outside of your market. And even if you break even, I break even a lot of times. You will never know, because I'm not bitter, so I will never be like, yo, this trip was shit, because there's always you gain something, right? So I have a business model. I'm not a charity, so I can't just break even all the time. I mean, in this economy, breaking even is subjective, though. You know,
exactly.
Bills are paid. You're sustainable. That is kind of breaking even. But you still want to, upgrade equipment, upkeep, pay for the insurances, and or be able to afford to give breaks to people that are humble. They know how to approach you, and they don't have your asking rate. You know what I mean? So it's just communication. I mean, it takes a lot of scheduling. Like, it's like the creative part.
I was gonna say, you're pretty punctual too, brother.
Yeah, shooting is easy. I mean, I had to, like,
you're pretty punctual.
The things I'm good at are the things that I had to push myself to do. Like the shooting and the creative part. That's like, I can shoot with my eyes closed. I'm not really. Don't ever let me do that, but that's just a metaphor.
You probably will get some dope footage though.
Like even like I mean, oh damn, you switched seats. I almost called him Katie. No. So we had a shoot that was 2 hours, and it was a 5-minute song, and he changed the song midway through, and it's like, are we gonna like? No, we made it happen. Like, you gotta step up, and he was a tough client too, because he was like, it was like, I won the world for $2. That's the type of person, So we just made it happen. It's almost done too, and it's gonna look fine, and it's not gonna look like a 2-hour shoot. It's not gonna look like the struggle that we went through. We're supposed to cover that up with the job. So, but yeah, it's I don't know. It's just all these experiences help you build up and take it one day at a time. And apply those things to the next one, but in fragments. It's hard. It's 10 years makes sense, but it's little fragments.
You've done big things. Like, ever since you stepped your camera game up over the years, like the quality game just shot through the roof, and you was like the first person around. So I know you was getting a lot of gigs when you switched that up.
It was very different, like,
So did that like change the game for you?
I think it changed the game. It changed the game overall. But there's a balance to it. You can't, I like to use, I don't compete, I dominate, right? So, but that's, there's a lot of, because compete, you do compete. You compete with yourself every day. You compete with, I just don't compete with rates. That's just weird. Like, I can't, that doesn't make any sense.
I like that. I don't compete. I dominate.
There's things I wish we could do as a unit, but we're not there. There's just not enough money for the unity that people preach every day.
Exactly.
I think we have just enough unity for what we can afford. And I know that sounds kind of rough, but when people collaborate and they take chances, there's money somewhere. Like nobody tells you where they hide their cash, right?
Yep.
No one would in any level,
Hell
right?
no.
But people that take chances, I know people like to sell the story that like I slept in my car. Like those stories are dope and they sell and they give you narrative. And they might be exaggerations of what you did go through, right?
Yeah.
To success, but you need money to take certain chances.
Hell yeah, you need a lot of money.
It's irresponsible to have a kid or a sick mother or a family and spend your last $50 on a lens. That's irresponsible. And some people might say,
Completely
"Oh, well, your dream is your
irresponsible.
dream, and you know you might make it happen, and then buy your mama a house." But
But how
like,
you gonna buy that? You better
You have
have
to be
money
smart.
coming in off that lens as soon as you buy it.
that's what so then you have to reapproach the game. You have to. You can't expect it to work right away. So so those investments gotta. You in the back of your mind, you gotta make. So I think we have just as much unity as you can afford as a market. So it takes money to say, "Hey, I'm gonna take a chance on a movie." Right, let's all get together and do a
movies
movie.
a lot of time and a lot
What
of
about your
effort.
bills? Like, I can't call the mortgage and be like, "Yo, I'm doing a movie. Hold on." Like, they don't care about that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hell no, you gotta do stuff in between.
Yeah.
You gotta work things out. I know I'm someone who's been shooting the movie. They've been shooting it for like a year and a half so far. Like, they're doing it, you know. Shout out to them.
There's a
They
movie I
actually
shot
came
4
on
years
my
ago.
podcast, and one of my boys is like a character, Rage. You know Rage and I.
Oh, yeah. I've seen the
Racist,
promos and stuff.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
movie's gonna be dope. I'm
Yeah.
in the scene in that movie too, so I'm about to be
Man.
a movie star out this motherfucking.
I gotta work with that dude
I
at
got a
some
little
point. We gotta make this happen. We've been talking so much for so many years, but things happen when they're supposed to happen. But,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
but he's another machine too.
Yeah,
Moving,
right.
like, he's definitely...
Yeah, he's like,
He'll tell you the effect of traveling and moving around has on how you view your market, because you see it for what it is, but then you appreciate it too.
exactly.
Yeah. A lot of us, I mean, there's a lot of markets that have, you know, a lot of people that did go to school for this stuff, that have connections, whether it's through college or through family or just being like at that door every day as interns. But we are all, you know, this is a self-made state. Everybody
Exactly.
here is pretty much like,
They did it themselves.
let's do it. Like,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of like, I mean, there is a lot of great people behind the scenes, but they can only do as much as there's money to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't, it's not Atlanta. You're not going to make a bunch of bread, especially
I agree with
legally.
you. I agree with
You're going to
you.
go to jail before you raise enough money
But
to
I-
break a record.
I think I see a lot of change happening slowly. There's a lot of craziness going on in these streets. First of all, like, just got the city's going crazy with the streets. But like, as far as like, there's a lot of coming together happening over the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people been going out. Like, shout out to Show Love. You got the Show Love,
Yes,
Showly. Shout out to Showly. He did an event. Everybody came out. You know what I'm saying? That shit ended up being dope. I didn't make it, but I heard
it was
great things.
Yeah, it was
So-
a long shot in the dark because it's like, but that is a little bit of blind faith, but it was good. I think it was a good structure.
Yeah, a lot of Connecticut is changing. Like, I see a lot of more networking events happening. Like, I've been doing networking events for like 3 years, trying to get shit, everybody popping. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Everybody to meet each other, and it you know what I'm saying? You can only do so much. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Break
it's
the
been
ice.
working.
You
like,
can break the ice, but you can't fish for
yeah,
them.
exactly.
You gotta.
A lot of things work. Like, a lot of people met people from my event. Like, what's his name? Flang.
Yeah. I did his first commercial
Still
for
in Rose,
ICD too.
ICD Studios.
look
and
it up.
Still in Rose, when they met at one of my events. And like the next day they did like Phil event with Mad Roses and shit, and they actually like built a dope bond off of an event, meeting each other at one of our events. Like,
That's crazy because I seen them on the last thing I went to, which was I forgot. I think it was at Grill 2.
it was a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
It was like a couple of days ago.
It was last minute. Like I went, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
bad.
I found that shit out last minute. I ended up falling asleep. I'll be waking up dumb early
Yeah.
on some real shit, and I just passed out that day. It was just not. I don't know what happened. I was gonna go.
Yeah, but everybody does their part, right? And you just gotta do your part, focus on what you're going for, and hopefully people get inspired by what you're doing and do the
Exactly.
same. But you still gotta get attached to that goal. So you can't just drop everything for, just a tryout. You do it for you. You know what you want from it. You have your expectations.
100%.
But and shout out to you for even doing that, because I've never put an event together. I'm too like control freak to like event. I'm like,
events is especially kind of what I've been doing is like drives me nuts. Like
I can see.
I don't get relaxed till like it happens. Like the music's dropped, the door open, like boom. I don't even care anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel that. Yeah, I would have.
It take a lot of structure to do it, but like, it's something I always like to do. I always was a part of like a dope promotional team. So the All Out Brothers, Sanso, and all of them.
Big shout out to them, because that's a legacy going into.
Yeah, we still part of that. It's like everybody's been doing their thing. So I always had like ideas of my own that I just always wanted to try, and that's what I did over the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Ever since I started Shooters and things like that, it's always been to like Shooters was a team thing. So it was always been to up everything,
Right.
Everybody, meet each other.
Yeah. Doing what you can with what you have.
Exactly.
Indeed.
So, when's the next time you going to Texas?
Yeah, South by Southwest is, I think I missed the one in 2016.
You going this year?
Yeah.
What you got lined up out there?
So far, I usually work with my executive room. That's my partner. I call him a partner, even though we don't have a contractual partnership. But he's a good guy. Looks out. Always made money with him. Jimmy O.
Okay.
He's an artist. New Haven born. Texas now, but he's definitely been a big asset, and the business end too. Just advancing. But he usually does showcases. He's now working strictly directly with South by Southwest. He's still an artist at heart, but he's more focused on developing artists, and his platform is my executive room, and he allows people to, be part of, the big showcases. So last year was dope. The last year I got to experience the higher, his goal was to do an official all-female showcase.
Okay, that must have been
official
dope.
Yeah, I met Tierra Whack, which I'm a huge fan of Tierra Whack. And I didn't even know it was her. I entertained the conversation. Because, you know who Tierra Whack is? From Philly? Yeah. She every time you see her, she look different. And I was showing her what Zion Key's music, because she was backstage. I don't really keep up like that. So, like, Dreezy was there. Rico Love. Who else was there? Adila from DC, from Seattle. Pineapple, everybody loves Pineapple from Jersey. It's all female MCs, right? And I was she was cool. She's mad at humble, and I was like, you do music? She's like, kind of, weird, the weirdest conversation I ever had with somebody at her level. And I was like, yeah, I'm on my promoting shit. And I'm like, yeah, let's do. Was Zion Key? I just did a video for him. But she was like, oh, his music is dope. Look me up. And then I looked her up, and I was like, oh, come on, you gonna play me like that? It was mad weird, but she was super humble.
That's dope.
Smart.
That's dope as fuck. That's actually dope.
But it's dope. But yeah, so I seen him put that together, and that was super dope. Because I'm pretty sure that's not the first. So you going to do that again? I don't know if they're doing an all female again, but I know that he's just gonna keep trying to break the barrier and do dope stuff.
So he get a spot on the strip, or does he?
Yeah. Last time he got I think it was a Spirit. The Spirit partnership, and I think it was at the back of the Standard Hotel, but it was an official South by Southwest. Then there's I think correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's called the Mullet. It's kind of like a Irish bar, but they set up well. Then there's
I've been there once.
There's the W Hotel, which is very people love being there because it's the structure is very modern and stuff. He did 6 showcases. I was in charge of 2, meaning film wise.
Okay.
Yeah, and some of it was for Revolt TV, so it was really work for hire. It wasn't just collecting footage. Yeah, it was good.
You was busting your ass working.
Yeah, it was. I'm reluctant to work with certain corporate entities because it's always I'm not very corporate minded. I don't like the beating around the bush. I like direct directions. I like being able to just have a conversation with a client. But it wasn't bad. All the years of working with bad schedules and problematic clients put me in a place to be able to work directly under Eugene, who's a beast, a bit of a hard dude, which reminds me of myself, but he's a beast at just scheduling
everything,
and just bringing talent. Imagine working with people that are worth a couple million each, and they're
that's real.
Green room, and I don't eat this. I hope the pork didn't touch my fork type shit. Like, but imagine that with people that are worth money. Like, it's just, I can imagine the pressure to dealing with that. But he was basically the stage manager and production manager. So it was me and A with my red, and then a couple other people doing some Sonys just to get some B-roll for this. Some of it was reality TV based, and then some of it was gonna be a review. And Nick Cannon. I had to shadow Nick Cannon.
Oh, you had to shadow?
I did for like 10
Nick
minutes.
Cannon's been on his shit lately too.
Yeah, that was different because I'm like, I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, but
at all.
Yeah.
But people are deeper than the music they make, and he's like just a person too, and a real smart. Like,
he's smart. He's smart. He got
calculated.
He got a show on everywhere. He got a radio
made
show,
me feel lazy.
podcast. He got a fucking TV show. He got like 3 of them. Like,
do smart.
He making money.
Mm-hmm.
He getting chicken out here.
Making money and making sure that it doesn't get taken back. Because there's making money and then there's getting it taken back from you for, whether it's contractual or you get put in a bad position, lawsuits, Me Too, all that shit. So he's very smart about who he's in the room with by himself, or, he has a lot of like protocols to how he moves, and it's like very like
to be thinking
methodical.
He started off as a whack ass rapper.
I mean, that was his little platform, but you know what? Like, shit, if somebody tell me that if I gotta pretend I'm a rapper and in 10 years, I got a couple homes in Malibu and Calabasas, I'll rap a little bit then. if I knew, but
I have Mariah Carey,
his security.
I'll be good, but I'll be Nick Cannon for a day too.
Nah, it was a dope experience. It was dope.
That's fire. So what do you wanna work there for them again?
Probably maybe Revolt. What happens in South by is like a lot of shit changes. So I have my little bit of like business on the side, but the main thing is usually with my partner. He's that's why I appreciate him, because he'll prepay me, right? So he'll be like, I want to do this, right? But if something comes along, then he's like, allocate those funds to this. Like last time, I didn't know I was gonna be covering any Revolt stuff, and none of that. I just knew that I was gonna do a mini documentary like we did. I did actually an hour documentary. It came to an hour, and the 2017 South by Southwest. So
I would like to. I didn't see that.
I'll send you a link. It's dope. It's inspirational. So because he brought a bunch of CT artists. That was his first official South by Southwest where he had 2 venues.
That's when Light Up was there and everything.
Yep. Light Up. He had a lot of people.
Shout out to Light Up. I want that.
Oscar Black from Heart. Shout out to Oscar Black.
Yeah.
So. No, it was like I was supposed to do something like that, and then he was like, "I think we need you at this venue." So he's like, "So just let's allocate that." So he's very selfless with his, because it comes back, and he's in a way better. He's in Texas.
Yeah,
it's just residual money. Everybody has residual money. There's not a lot of people
Texas
doing.
A lot, or do you just?
I go to Texas a lot. Usually, there's slow months of December, holiday stuff. This year, there was just no space for that. So. But yeah, it's just a lot of. It's just different. It's bigger. It's a weird state. It does have weird history. It does have a lot of KKK chapters. A lot of people are reluctant. But if you're in healthcare, they pay really good for health. If you're healthcare even if you're a CNA, you'll be good, and they'll help you pay for further schooling and stuff.
That's fire.
There's land is cheap. Houses are cheap.
Yeah, it is.
It's Mexico, bro. Like there's a lot of white supremacy that did go, that we're aware of that. You definitely don't want to go like West Texas by yourself and start trouble. Like anybody that, what I'm saying? Like it is Texas. Yeah. But like between Houston, Dallas, and Austin, Bastrop County I shot in a farm, and there's like, I'm talking the farms, acres. And there was either 3rd or 4th generation Mexican or black owners. Like, I'm like, I was expecting a bunch of white cowboys, like, get off my property type of shit, but it wasn't. It was like, it's little things they don't get promoted, obviously. They don't get like, but these are like 3rd or 4th generation people of color that own property.
Yeah, that's dope.
And their vote goes further than our vote as far as like population goes.
Yeah.
They run the county.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not a thing that they talk about because it's not like a thing that it doesn't mean anything.
They probably owe Maryland and they.
So it's just different. There's a lot of different so Texas is dope. I love Texas. I would rather live in California, but California, you might as well just move to New York then. It's expensive.
It's expensive?
Yeah.
New York is crazy.
And they don't got their own water, so it's a little scary. All the water that goes to California, at least Southern California, comes from Las Vegas. With no water,
So
there's
you like
violence.
Vegas too?
Vegas is cool, but it's not really culture. There's no culture to Vegas. Everybody from Vegas is not from Vegas. It's just a small town that turned into a lot of a lot of loopholes around the law during Prohibition and all that. And I like Red Rock Canyon. It's a dope place to go and shoot and relax. But Vegas doesn't have any culture. LA got culture. I love LA culture. The weed, I don't smoke, but even the smell of the weed.
Out there, I heard you.
Everything, the food, the women. It's different. I mean, it has its problems. Los Angeles has had its racial tensions, obviously, but those were imported. It wasn't like the Carolinas. That's rooted in their system. Yeah. I would never live in none of the Carolinas. Nope. Those government, the legislatures build up.
Texas
everybody there
LA.
All their wealth comes from slavery. Like all the people in the council, all that, except for little instances of little towns that they got overturned. It's too much dark rooted history based on that. So I would never live in that. I would never pay a tax dollar anywhere in those states. Texas is and Cali's dope.
Cali's dope.
It's Mexico, bro. Come on. Man, it's just English Mexico. That's what I call it.
English Mexico? Okay. So you been to Mexico too?
Yes.
That's dope. Damn, this guy's been everywhere.
I mean, to be fair, it was Cabos. I didn't go deep into the... I'm not Sean Penn. I didn't go to meet El Chapo. Nah. Mexico, though, the people, most people, like everything you expect from people is the same. Like, everybody's just humble. People just want to live and eat and have a good time. So, but it is a weird. I mean, there's feds everywhere. It's just for security because it's a tourist spot. So I went to Cabos. So I had to do a quick commercial for a soccer team, the Los Delfines, the Dolphins, right? Mm-hmm. But they put me up like it was just them, and I got paid well.
Oh, okay.
And they gave me it was a 1-day shoot, and they got a 4-day at a resort. Like I'm in Mexico.
Yeah,
so,
just chilling in Mexico.
Yeah, and I speak Spanish, real good. So like it was not that hard to. I wasn't like trying to translate a conversation every time you get into a taco.
So is the tacos better in Mexico or Cali?
They're definitely better in Mexico because they're like 40 cents. Nah, they're legit. They're super legit. But Cali got a spot though. Okay. Gavilan, shout out to Gavilan. That was our favorite spot. There's a chain, but it's only in LA. There's like 6 of them.
Hop off the airport, though.
Hell yeah. As soon as we get it, and everybody be jet lag, and I'm like, nah, we're going to Gavilan.
And that's open, always open?
Yeah, that's as close as Mexico as you're going to get, Gavilan. The food trucks are good, but they got to cater to different tastes and stuff like that. But a taco is simple. It's meat, the flour, and then maybe some cilantro and onion. It's not supposed to be this Taco Bell mixture of shit. You know what I mean? So you make your own taco. You add what you want.
I don't do Taco Bell, so...
Yeah, I mean, we did it. We've done Taco Bell on a tough night.
I can't do Taco Bell. That's going to be a real tough night by the end of it if I do Taco Bell.
My best experience was definitely Jamaica, though.
Yeah, Jamaica? Yeah. You like going to Jamaica?
Yeah. If I retire, I think that would be my first pick. If I had the money to just sit somewhere and relax and not have to think and be able to raise...
You would move to Jamaica? That's dope.
Yeah, I think I would.
How many times you been to Jamaica?
Just once.
Just once?
Yeah.
I got to get my passport. We going back.
Yeah, I mean, it was different. I went with my girl, so it was like half, touristy, stuff. I did, I had to shoot in Kingston. I did some work too. So it was, what you expect or what people, but the countryside reminded me of Colombia. There's so many similarities because I grew up in the countryside in Colombia. So it was just the same. You go anywhere you go, everybody feeds you, everybody loves you. There's no difference. So I got a bit of a deeper, in one trip, I got way more out of the whole island.
Okay.
Because I went from Montego Bay to St. Anne's Parish, the country, And then I did go to I shot in Kingston. I got the whole
You got
experience,
the
the
hood
market.
anyway. Because I
Yeah.
heard it's real crazy out there. There's dogs
I mean, it's
running
crazy
around
if you're
everywhere.
crazy. If you're walking around looking for coke, you're gonna get robbed. That's what people that end up getting in dumb shit. Like if you go to Dominican Republic and you're looking for drugs or whores, I'm sorry, prostitutes, you're gonna find trouble. Like if you're looking for, you know what I'm saying? Like if you go anywhere in this town looking for shit, like if I go right now trying to buy some shit I never got before, I'm gonna get sized up or robbed. Like I don't like you're not a flex.
You don't say the right thing. You don't talk the right way.
So most people and even in the worst places are humble.
45.
Can I buy one weed, please? Yeah, you a cop or you dumb?
Weed, all right, 45.
Nah, it was dope. No scares, like people go off a vibe. I shot in Tivoli Gardens. Like this ain't.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't take it from anybody, but like
I heard some shit about Jamaica.
That's not like that's the project, but that should look like fridges. The windows are like slits, and it's a different thing. It's very different. It's not.
This dude from my job went to Jamaica.
Everybody in the hood got J's on. They got an iPhone. That's a very different thing from people that got no shoes on. Like there's a difference of what poverty is in different places.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And also, you got. I mean, I didn't go by myself. Like, like the dude I shot with was Fats. He's not Fats from Lotus, but Fats, the Jamaican artist from Stanford. Mm-hmm. And his father is known in the area too. We just didn't show up.
Exactly.
But it was very like uneventful. When I say uneventful, it's like everybody got their guard up. Anything could happen anywhere you go. We're not invincible. But it was just a good vibe. It was a good song. We were only there for like 45 minutes, but we have a bunch of kids. The one video I got that I put out is just a bunch of kids, just being happy that they, And when we went, there's also you gotta know how you're doing it. So the father was like, we gotta bring gifts, right?
Yeah,
so it's not like
bring
checking in. It's not like going to LA and checking in South Central. And I did shoot in South Central. I'll do Jamaica before I do South Central again. So that was different. But no, it was like we brought a couple soccer balls, soccer shoes, and food, and we were open and we talked. And the kids, I was Redman. I don't know if it was the camera on my face, but I'm like Redman.
Probably was red as hell.
That was a very humbling experience because like even my girl, she's not from Kingston, she's from St. Anne, so she was like, I'm not going there. I'm like, why? She's like, that tough. Just like don't. I'm like, I gotta shoot. I got money in my pocket from a client, and I'm not stupid. I will never put myself or anybody in danger. Like, and it was dope. It's like it's just people, bro. Like, like we're not there acting a fool or, we didn't go to exploit. You know what I'm saying? We didn't come and culture vulture the area. It's a song about hope and people. It's called People. So
exactly.
If we would have came in with some dumb and pull out some fake guns and try to do some
wild.
I'm in the hood.
Yeah,
they would have checked us.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
But that's cool. That's cool that you got to do that. You went out there with your camera and everything.
Yeah, but the Camry.
Yeah, that would have been the scariest part to me. Fuck everything else. I've been like, nigga,
if I'm gonna go like this, I'm gonna go like this, right? I'd rather do that than die from overeating.
You better have insurance. That's what I'm saying.
Can't make a claim if you're dead.
Yeah, you can't make a claim if you're dead.
Nah. I didn't get any weird vibes. I didn't get any gut feelings. Nothing. It was just, I'm scared of kids anyway. So I'm scared of talking to kids overall. Yeah. But these kids were like just mad, like
chill.
Mr. Redman. Yeah, it was like, it's like, are we gonna be on YouTube tomorrow? And I'm like, got a lot of faith in me.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Damn, you heard of me? You heard of my turnaround time? Nah, it was dope.
That's fire. So, so you say you saw in South Central. I want to know about that because you said you never go back.
South Central was with Sholi.
Okay.
Sholi had just came home from doing some time, and he's been around too. Like he was born in Houston. We shot a video yesterday too. By the way, it's gonna be dope.
Okay. Shout out to Sholi. I know that shit gonna be dope.
He's been around Houston, Virginia. He went to college in Virginia. He lived in I think he lived in LA for a while. Mm-hmm. And we shot in that. Was a little tricky, but we shot in South Central for a video. That video never came out because he was too fresh home. It wasn't the right look. It wasn't what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't in his own skin at the time. but it's a
Okay.
dope song. And it was with Randy Heartless, that one of my old friends. As a friend at this point, but that's one of my audio clients that became a video client, but also a friend and then just a very like straight person that's always gonna be straight with me about friends. That's the type of friends I keep around.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need to keep around people. That's
we
gonna
went.
be honest
I think it was
with you.
me, our friend Jose, Alfredo, and I think my boy Raymond. Very quiet.
Okay.
But it's different because it's South Central still like the gang shit means everything out there.
Yeah,
Still
it's
to
real
this day.
out there.
So it's like but it's like gerrymandering. So it's like it's not like the whole neighborhood is a set. It's like you have these little corners or these little pockets of things, and I got nervous there just because of,
Yeah.
I don't. I look like what I look like. Like if I look mean, I look like a cop or something. I don't know. It just wasn't a good look. And we were just, we were jet lagged, and they were just the same car kept rolling around, pulling down the window, saying, "Yo, who the guy with the camera?" Like once was cool, right? Like, and they were like, "We just shooting the video, bro." And then again, who the guy with the camera though? And I'm like, this might be a thing. And nobody. I mean, at least none of us had anything that we just nothing.
Yep.
We have nothing. But we were with people that we trusted. But it was just like that was a little tricky because we did have to stop filming for a little bit just to get on ease. It might have just been me, but I felt not as at ease as I could have and I had my friends that I brought in there.
I guess it.
Some of them were like, "What are we doing out here?" Like, I'm just trying to get the video done. We are not hanging out out here.
Yeah, chilling out there.
All the colors on.
No.
I was about to say.
Nah.
Another shit.
Oh yeah. See, but the hours is a little different.
That was some shit
Yeah.
that I knew. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you learn.
We knew better though.
We from the East Coast, so you know certain
You
shit.
gotta know
You
certain
know
shit.
certain shit. Like, we was in a motherfucking strip club, a nigga shot. Like, I think.
No, they
It
definitely
didn't
was.
happen. It definitely was something going on, but it didn't happen, so you never know what was going on, but you don't want to know what was going on. But I felt like niggas was trying to like, get us. Like,
Yeah.
we was from out of state. You could tell. When we go over there, you could tell. Like,
You was recording in the strip club or y'all
Nah, we
just
just-
chilling?
it was like-
Yeah,
No,
when you just chilling.
I
in the
dragged
strip
him out of the room. I was like, "Yo, we
Yeah,
going to."
it's different because
I was
niggas
ready to
know,
go back.
I was like, "We going to Torrance."
yeah, I was ready.
Which
to come
is
back
like,
home. I'm like, yo,
so Torrance is like east of Compton.
Okay.
And I looked up, I was like, all right, because I knew somebody that I knew at that place that worked, this model that I knew, whatever, she dances, and I was like, she's in Torrance? I was like, damn, you that far? Keys, we going to Torrance. So we went, not gonna get into the whole thing, but
Yeah.
I know that he started texting me, but we were not in the same room. And he was like, because it wasn't a lot of people in there, but it was like, it was some
little
obvious
fishy,
dumb
yeah.
shit. They thought we might have been some tourists and shit, which we were, but we on our toes. So it was like, you want to go to a party? What they told you?
Nah, cause like you dipped, like you know what I'm saying. Not even dipped, but you left. So
I left the area.
So I seen the niggas looking like you know what I'm saying. So mind you, I got money, so you know what I'm saying. Like they.
Yeah,
looking.
you definitely
You
gotta
know
have
what I
money
mean?
in the
Yeah,
strip
so
club.
I'm throwing money, so they looking, so I look at them. So my thing is, let me get close to them, so I can see what type of vibe they giving me. So
Yeah.
at the same time, while they looking, and like one of the girls, she was acting like funny, so you know.
It's
I
just the
ended up-
telltale
Yeah, I
signs.
ended up going near them,
Yeah.
throwing money like around them, like you know what I'm
I
saying. Not
guess.
around them like some envious shit, but like they throwing money, I'm throwing money, like you know what I mean. I'm like, yo, what's good, like you know what I'm saying. So he like, yo, we got this little party, like y'all can come follow up. So I'm like,
What,
I
go
text
to
him,
a
I'm like,
party?
yo, these niggas, they
Nah, I ain't trying to go to no
come
party.
out like, yo, who? I'm like, you're not doing that right now.
I was like, damn it, I walk away for 10 minutes. And
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
you
so
know,
happen.
like, he like, where they
Yeah.
at? I'm like, yo, chill. Like,
You gotta
not doing
relax,
that,
bro.
like,
I want you to be aware.
Yeah.
like, and then they like,
Yeah,
yeah, follow us. So I'm like, yeah, we not.
we were like,
following them,
yeah.
but
We were like, yeah, we'll follow you. As soon as they
Yeah,
dip,
it
we
was-
dip
yeah.
like,
That was it.
woo.
Yeah.
It was
They like,
yeah.
yeah, come on, we leaving. We fucking like follow us. So I'm like, yeah, they gonna take us somewhere, rob us, and leave us there. Like,
And you're gonna be disappointed because I only got like $20 cash.
yeah, right? Like, nah, we ain't doing that.
$20 cash. That's all you getting, bro.
Yep. And they just
Every-
swipe. Nah, but it's funny stuff like that. Yeah, that was different. That was funny. I don't know why I did that for.
Why you jumped out of the...
I don't know. I was like,
Well,
you
you
know,
can't-
I don't like wasting time when I'm out of town. I'm like, it's just a 50-minute
But that's
drive.
the thing. It wasn't
Yeah.
supposed to be that. Like, it's just supposed to be like a little.
Chill.
Hey, what up? Like,
Yeah,
you out here, I'm out
okay.
here, how you doing? You want? You know what I'm saying?
You was
Like,
just going up there to chill.
some work, like, but it.
Everything got twisted. But I feel you. You just probably felt funny.
But
and them niggas saying something about
I didn't even question
something about
like,
that party. That shit was a little iffy to me too. Like, yeah, you can relax with that.
You like follow us? Like, nah, we not following y'all.
Yeah. Go ahead. You go on.
Like, no problem. I'll be right behind you.
Nah, it was just
That's
right.
the worst thing you could do though. Like if you out of town and something's get hurt, like 'cause you don't know how they.
You have no
work. How like.
Where the hospitals is at? Imagine something, you know.
Contacts all the way on the other side of the United States. Like, you know, hit my mom's and she was like, damn, he ain't like, what can I do? He
how did this happen? Well.
Yeah, that is true. Like you gotta be easy when you go out of town. You never know what could possibly happen at any given point. So every time you go OT, you take somebody with you, or how do you?
Sometimes the first couple times, the first time I took a friend of mine and the artist, and there was 2 different times that I went with all my high school or my close circle of friends. And then I caught up with him, and then we went again. And that was more like business and pleasure, but most of the time I usually just go by myself.
Okay. Yeah. He like going for business and pleasure, you know?
Well, I've always find a way to just enjoy where I'm at. Like,
you got to, because you never go.
You gotta get cultured.
Never been there, so you might as well find out what's going on.
But even LA to this day, like there's always something new to do in LA.
Yeah,
like I've been there at least twice a year since 2013.
That's big right there. Always. Shout out to you, bro.
But there's some shit that I've never got to do.
13, like
we only got 24 hours a day, so there's so many things that you could do, like even Orange County.
Damn, bro.
I make it my business to go to LA as much as I can, as long as it makes sense and it fits. Yeah,
I ain't mad at you, bro. I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, it's an experience, man. I do like taking people and just trying to like guide them and like let's go eat here, let's do this. Like I enjoy that. Like that's like just not even like a business thing.
Yeah, you already know the good spots.
A travel planner, but like I do like just like having a schedule of like. I took people to the fucking zoo in Houston. I walked my friends up there. Yo, we going to the zoo. You don't understand. The Bridgeport Zoo is just a bunch of dogs. Yeah. With spray paint on them. Like, we going to Houston. They got effluents and aminos.
To the zoo.
Yo, Fredo was laughing at me. I woke motherfuckers up at 7 a.m. after
we going to the zoo, nigga. Like, wake the fuck up. I be like, nigga, you don't leave me the fuck up.
I still haven't gotten to Texas yet. I got Texas is lit.
Yo, speaking of Texas, now I could talk about my venture that I want to do in Texas. Like I said before, last time I went to Texas, I don't think it was last year. I think it was the year before last. Or maybe it was last year. I think it was the year before last. But anyway, we went out there. We got one of them houses you can rent. The Airbnb, like 15 minutes away from the strip. And we went out there to shoot a video. We shot a video in the house. And we went out there to hit the strip, of course. Perform a couple spots and things like that. But I just went out there to take pictures. It was just dope experience. But what I was saying is I want to take the podcast out there, rent a house like that, and just get everybody from down there, book them in advance, and just bring them all through the house throughout the day and just keep on booking people and just shooting podcasts all day. You know what I'm saying? That should just be dope. Because the house that we had like 5 different spots I would be able to shoot at.
Hell yeah.
Like, so those shits just come out dope. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Still, last time, whenever you do that, let me know. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're going to have an idea. No, I'm going to know in definite
advance, because I'm probably going to try to plan that as in advance as I could.
If you have a spot, if there's anybody I can bring to your attention that you could do, that'd be beneficial from a different market just to...
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you were going to, we'll have to, like, link up and make something happen.
Yeah, that'd be fire, because that's going to happen. It's not going to happen this year, but next year I'm definitely going to do that. Because that's a move where I could get people from all over the world in one spot, like, pretty much. Yeah. Like, it's like it's artists, Cali niggas tech, there, there's fucking Florida niggas there.
You can do tech, film, all the people out there. Like,
and I can do the whole crew. They come through, we can do a quick.
That's what I'm saying. I got to do a little behind the scenes for Drink Champs.
That's
Two.
fire.
And that was for Crooked Eye, because I did a video for Crooked Eye, or King Crooked now, but from Slaughterhouse, right? So, and we shot that in Texas through Jimmy O. He put a lot of that together. It's a short film, really. It's based on the song, but it deals with like.
I always said your videos and the way you shoot, you could always be you could shoot movies and be nice. Like,
Yeah, that's what inspired me. Like I didn't have YouTube, or there wasn't that. My inspiration came from, to be honest, came from a lot of the making the video and just being in love with the process and watching the video. Like, oh shit. And this was before high def.
oh,
This
making
is
the video like
watching
on
it
BET or MTV.
MTV, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I started, when I got a job, at the late age of 14,
The late age of 14.
and I, buy DVDs, they will come with the feature of how they made the movie. That took me to a different level of like, holy fuck, like
That's when DVDs.
this is like, yeah, because I never questioned how to make movies, but they had they had.
That was on the back side of the CD. Remember you flipped
I think
the
was
CD?
it? Oh yeah, it had the
Flip the
double
CD
one.
over,
Yeah.
And this on the back
Or
side.
the double one that read twice. I don't know. It was weird technology. That lasted not too
shit
long.
like that.
But it was like making the movies and like that took it to a different level, because it was like the process. Some people found it boring, but I found it intriguing, because it is boring if you don't care about
It's
it.
a slow-mo process.
It's not a party.
They probably shoot up for like an hour for like a 1 second shot.
Yeah. It's not a party.
Yeah.
It's not an event. It's like you really like just like
It's focused.
yeah. But you know what you want, so you're excited in your own right. But it's not like an audience can be there per se.
Yeah.
You got to be into it. You got to be a cinephile.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
Yeah.
You gotta
But that's what
become
kinda
that
pushed me to do it.
character. Like, that's what I said. A lot of, like, I just seen that Joker movie. That shit was crazy.
That was a dope movie. I don't even care
That
about
shit-
none of the DC. Like that movie's not about Joker as is. That
It's
shit
just
is
a dope-ass
That's about
movie.
American healthcare, bro.
Yeah.
To me, that movie is about. That's a way to.
That's a good way to put it, because
No,
that
it
is true.
It is. It's about like healthcare, mental illness, and how we deal with stuff, and why do people go crazy? Why do they do what they do? Entertainment. Why do people do the things they do? Because they see themselves in a place that they can get attention finally. Somebody that's he's a clown. He's a butt of the jokes.
Oh, yeah.
How it was shot is one thing, but the writing part, like how it was shot as a cinematographer, I'm like, that's dope. Some people found it boring because it's not.
No, I thought it was a dope
not
ass
like
movie. I was sitting there like this. The whole
He's a
time
great fucking
watching
actor,
it,
bro. He's
and I'm
acting
like,
is
yo, this
fucking ill.
movie is crazy.
Yeah, his acting skills are like he's I don't know if you know much about him, but he was in a cult when he was young. River Phoenix died of and I've been to that club in LA where his little brother OD'd in front of Johnny Depp, the
Okay.
Viper Room in West
Wow.
Hollywood.
You been to the
Yeah.
club. You wasn't in the club that night, though, right?
No, hell no, it was in the 70s. That's when they was doing all the things that came on the table. Like, I'll do that, I'll do that, I'll do that. Nah. But he's a method actor.
Mm-hmm.
Very good actor. But just the combination of it, but the story, like again, I don't follow like the whole like DC, all that, like, but this movie is not about that. It's marketed as and it's a development and evolution of the story, right? Of the Joker.
Yeah.
We saw the
But there
corny
was-
Batman. We saw the Nolan movies. They were good, but it's still a guy in a suit jumping around. That's not. I can't get into it.
Exactly.
Like it just doesn't fit. But this was like he's the antagonist. He's the enemy, right? But his story matters too.
Exactly.
He like
Because that's what they did this movie. That's why I was like, yo, this is like nothing that has to do with Joker in this movie, but like how he became
it
Joker.
is very good though.
Yeah.
It's a
It's
slow-ass build.
Yeah.
Pretty much. what
Because
you
the
see in
story
Joker.
matches.
Yeah.
It's just a whole different universe.
It's like a different world. That
It's a
movie.
challenge because like
That movie had me bugged out. I was watching that shit like, damn, this shit crazy. Like,
yeah,
it was a dope movie.
You can't.
Huh?
You can't.
no.
Like compare it day and night.
No,
Yeah,
it's
it's
a different
definitely not
it's
like
a
that
different
movie.
approach. But like I liked it. It's slow. It's like a novel. It's like that could have been a book.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
if I didn't know
It is
anything
slow.
about
It
Batman,
is
I'm like
very
that must
slow.
have been a book or something. But nah, it was done. It was well done.
Exactly how
Really
he
well
became that motherfucking crazy
Hell
motherfucker
yeah.
he turned it out to be. That's crazy as fuck. So anyway, what else? What's your top movies? What's your top 5 movies since you're in the movies?
Top 5 movies. Dylan. Nah, my favorite movies right now. I mean, I don't know. In the last decade, Children of Men.
Children of Men.
Yeah.
See, I ain't even see that. You said that the last
Children of
time.
Men is Emmanuel. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right. Lubinsky. He's a Mexican Jewish cinematographer.
Damn.
But Alfonso Cuarón is the director. He did.
He got
Gravity.
hard working and a motherfucker that got money in his blood. Damn, that
Yeah.
nigga gotta be paid.
Yeah. So him, but it was Alfonso Cuarón. He's the director, right? And Children of Men was a book, but the adaptation is dope. I just like how it was shot, how it was done. It's slow building, but it's basically 2027. It came out in 2006, but it was showing 2027 if women couldn't have kids anymore.
Okay.
But the one girl that get pregnant is black from Africa. But this isn't an American perspective. This is an England perspective. Like they don't even talk about America like that. So it's Clive Owen, the actor in I forgot her name. Last name is Moore. She was in Boogie Nights, but she so this is in England, and England deals with a lot of immigration from Africa.
Okay.
Right, because they come through Spain and they work their way up. Right. So England's the last place that was like in this movie is the last place that's like stable, kind of.
Okay.
But it deals with like putting African immigrants and some Russian immigrants in cages, which we kind of see now. So it's supposed to be in 2027. The youngest kid gets killed, meaning the longest living person ever, because women could not have kids anymore. Okay. They don't know what's going on. The music is dope because it sounds futuristic, but not. Every aspect in the movie was thought about like crazy. It's amazing. Yeah, so the one girl that does get pregnant is this African Nigerian girl.
Yeah.
And obviously, the world, they're trying to like, instead of saying, hey, somebody got pregnant, let's be happy.
Yeah, that's good.
The real world is like, so you mean only black people are good? That's what I took from the movie. So you mean the only black people get to live and we don't? Like, so it was a whole lot of people trying to kill her and kill the kid. And then a group of terrorists that were protecting her.
That's crazy.
To have the kid to this myth, which was a boat that was supposed to be going around the ocean with old scientists and like trying to save them. So it's a deep story, but it mirrors the Jesus story. Because she had the kid in a stable. The country was trying to kill the kid, or it was the enemy of the state. Like all these things that come from the Bible and all that stuff. And I'm not like into it. Like I don't have a religion per se. I just it
reminded you.
Yeah, but it gave me like, but that comes from like human experience and what people feel like. Just it had a lot of I don't know, just mirror that story a lot.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's dope too because it just shows like persecution and it's a story about humanity. Like, but it's science fiction to a degree. Because they had to show like how cars are gonna look in the future, and how the music, but everything was on point. But it wasn't a Star Trek.
Crazy like it is now.
Yeah, it's very close to. It's dangerously close to like kids in cages and immigration. Like that's what we're going through with immigrants from Central and South America and New Mexico and all the all that shit that's going on. Okay. Because of not just Trump, but the administration and some of the shit that was in place before that just got executed, and just it's just a lot of the mess that it is. Yeah. But
it's definitely a lot of shit
great
going
movie.
on.
It was shot, and again, the cinematographer, like me, he prides himself in long, detailed shots.
Yeah. You definitely do.
Like
That's one
minute
thing I know
long
about.
shot, but it's choreographed, and there's a lot happening, and CGI is like the last thing they even think about. Is all practical effects. Fire and blood are there. There's no green screen like that.
That's fine.
It was a very innovative movie too, and the behind the scenes are like inspirational. So that's my for the decade, but maybe a little further than the decade. But for the last 20 years, that's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, last 20 years. That's
Meaningful
06.
movie, something that'll make you think.
I'm gonna watch
There's a bunch of other stuff. Too many.
Watch it. Cause just to get, cause you explained it dope as fuck. Like, so I gotta see it.
And I ain't spoil it because there's so many other things in it that are dope. I'm not a spoiler.
So, I don't want to ask that question. I don't want to ask you, what was the funnest video you shot?
Funnest?
I ain't gonna say his favorite video.
No, it's hard to say favorite, bro. Like 1,200 videos. It's hard.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
experience-wise, I know that I have a lot of fun when I work with my Connecticut metal band fan. I only have like 5 clients that are metal, like Cyperna, Kalima, and there's a few others that change their name every couple of years, so it's hard to keep up. because they changed members and they changed the name of the band.
Yeah.
Kalima is an instrumental metal band. I'm a big metal head too, like, but not like that deep. But I love metal. I love all kinds.
That's
of music.
fire.
I grew up listening to like Spanish, like rock too. My mom has musical taste. It's
getting
crazy.
The Post Malone got me feeling like I'm a rock star.
Yeah.
But
But nah, like I'm talking like
that's
like,
a little bit more like
we
to
went
the next
to
level for
a
me.
show. Yeah, I took him to a show before for one of the bands I'm talking about.
It's interesting. Like,
And,
I know exactly what you.
That's fun
long,
because
that
they have this
crazy.
crazy ideas. They're metal bands, and this one's instrumental, so you don't have to like deal with the like It's like, that I can't really get into like that. Like, my favorite band is System of a Down. They do kind of do that, but they're Armenian. I look at them different. They're Middle Eastern to me, and they're from LA. They have a whole different life, different story to tell. So
The battery's right there.
oh, you need the battery.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh, throw it. I want to throw. I'm not throwing equipment.
You can toss it.
No, you can come grab it, bro. I am not throwing equipment.
I respect this gangster.
But they're instrumental. They don't have any vocals on it, and their songs are like 7 minutes long. So every time we did a video, it was like it was a spoof of a movie, right? So or a genre, right? So the first one was Death March that I ever did with them, and it was based on like Michael Myers movies with like
I seen some of them.
Yeah.
I seen some of them.
One was like 70s
and that shit
cops.
looked crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot of work, but it was fun. They're fun people.
That shit was
Yeah.
bugged out. I was like, oh,
They're fun
this
people.
is fire.
I work with Rebel Inc., which is they're serious. They're like what's the name of the band from Rage Against the Machine, kind of.
Okay.
Very political. That was kind of fun, but they're very serious. They don't have a lot of fun, but that was cool.
they don't have a lot of fun. They serious.
I think the most fun video,
That's it.
the most fun I've had to be with Kalima, at the between one of their two videos.
That's got to be the most creative and the most fun.
It was fun. It was just fun to watch. Like, it's just different people too, so it's more entertaining.
Okay.
Different kind of people, different.
I get exactly what you mean. Like, it's different
fun.
vibes, it's different things they do.
I'm gonna get calls tomorrow. Like, so you saying my shit wasn't fun? Nah, it'll be all right.
Don't be mad if y'all feel that way, all right? Let me drop it right now for y'all so he don't have to say it to you later. So, so that I don't have to say the rest, like who was your favorite video. I say the funnest one. You know what I'm saying?
Was fun.
So I see you work a lot with Sholey. How's that been going? Like,
That's been going great, man.
that's like your boy, right?
Yeah. I think you could say that.
You said you
sure.
just shot a video for him. What song you did?
We
You
shot for the intro for Show Love 2, which is a very, very
deep song.
like that. I think so. Video wise, we approach it differently because he did videos in his last tape. He did videos. He worked with other people, obviously.
Okay.
But he just did what he thought was hot. I think right now we're waiting for feedback and see what we're shooting. But this is a very personal tape, so the intro sets up the narrative for who he is and what he is. This isn't a 25-year-old rapping about nothing. There's like his life experiences, narrative, and how he sees the world. Like, if we organize it, it's gonna be like, okay, like it's not ignorant, but it's raw. So you can do that. And then I mean, he's not the only one, but I like in my circle, the people I rock with and the artists that I have faith in, that I work with very closely. Like, he definitely is like, and I'm a big hip hop fan. I just don't keep up like that because I'm older and it's hard to absorb all this stuff. But like, I do like a raw, like Kendrick is the last artist that is like, to me, is like I put him up there. J.
Kendrick
Cole
was
too,
my
but
favorite.
I'm a LA kind of like, so I like, and I understand a lot of the culture.
Like J. Cole too.
So it's like and just his point of view, the videos, like amazing. So to me, it's like, okay, this is what I'm into. So I like raw. I don't like censor rap. It doesn't have to be censored. You just don't have to be ignorant.
Yeah.
But we go through those waves. I mean, we go back to Public Enemy and then NWA. People may see those as people that put them in the same
they're the same
box,
thing, but they
are
different.
not
They totally
at all,
different.
but it's just I think you take away from space. Like, anybody like can tell that, like, there's a spectrum, right? So nobody tells, I don't know, rock and roll what to do with, like, oh, stop talking about this, stop talking about that. Like, there's space for all the different experiences. So we
Yeah.
can talk about being positive and militant, but we can also talk about what's going on without telling on yourself.
Exactly.
But people tell themselves when they want to be self, like, I do this and I do that, right? Like, especially right now with social media.
Yeah.
You can
that's
talk
what-
about
you-
what's going
niggas
on
be
without...
snitching on
you
them
don't
damn
gotta
stuff
dry
on
snitch.
social media.
Even
yeah.
dry snitching, you got to think about, like, two and two together. ARAB, right? That's his name. He basically gave the detectives the couple things that they needed to make a solid case and get a fucking warrant.
That's crazy.
How he not went to the Vlad interview, that's what I made that skit.
Yeah.
There was things that are missing that you have to put together before you serve somebody with a... You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
they might have known and be like, I know he did it, but, like, you got to be able to do it. There's due
You
process.
have to have proof. Like,
And, I mean, I don't know how much they had or didn't, but I think he might have just sealed the deal for them. Not unknowingly. I don't think he wanted to do that.
yeah, a lot of niggas be doing dumb shit and don't even know it. They just say the wrong thing.
But
and
that's
just-
different. He's a very different person. His music and what he like is different. But yeah, but with shows, like, I think he got a lot of aspects. He's lived in different places. He's been in college. He's not a dummy.
Mhm.
His ideas are like, again, just like Nick Cannon. I'm not a fan of his music, like, at all. But as a person, it's like he got so many ideas, and he's just gonna develop them at the time that he feels they're gonna go right. And he's
Yeah.
not like...
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
true. Niggas
He's
gotta-
wilding out, bro. He's not like intellectual as far as like what he like that. But he's a
Wilding
smart
out is kind of
motherfucker.
corny to a certain extent.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's too.
like, you know, objective, right?
A lot of people like that shit though.
That's what I'm saying. But with shows like more direct, real conversation, real narrative, and I know that the ideas, the conversation we have, like, there's so much we can like. The only thing that's missing is some money, like some real money, not like a little bit of dollar here and there, but like some.
Nah, he getting real money though. He didn't get real money for everything. They
Yeah,
can.
I mean, he works, but he's also a responsible adult. He's not I live in my car or I live in my apartment by myself and I spend just money on me. Like, there's so many levels to how people develop and stuff. And never really have to think about that with people you look up to until you look up to them, right? But it's just a lot of shit. We all have that, but like that makes me feel like, damn, like, I made me admire more like how somebody works and even other stuff. There's other ventures he's got going on.
Yeah, I respect it. Like I said, he does. It looks like he don't stop working. Like, honestly,
Nah, there's no sleep for him.
yeah, there's no sleep for that guy. He just keep moving and doing shit, and he's pretty good at what he does. On top of that, that's crazy. It's like
Yeah, but it's all true. It's all real. It's easier when it's not. You know, you have to be marketable, but it's like.
So you said you
Real
shot a
life shit.
movie before?
Well, yeah, I got like 5 short films on Amazon, but the big long movie that we're still working on is the one I did in Texas.
Are you still working on it?
When I say I'm working on it, that means that the budget ended and they're not gonna release it anytime soon. But right now it's 71 minutes long. We want to get it to 80, and on top of that, we need some voiceovers. But there's some contractual stuff that we got to figure out. Not me, the producer, but you know, it has a place right now. If we finish it, I think it'll make a splash.
And that was through Texas. And
That was in
so-
Texas, yeah, through Jimmy O, through MEAD, a lot of different talents, a lot of the local artists from Texas, from Austin, Texas. It was dope. It was a comedy.
That's fire.
It was good. It was good.
That was fire.
But it has to be finished.
It gotta be finished.
And it's like
I was gonna say, do you see
10,000
yourself
hours worth of
shooting
work they gotta
anything
put into it.
soon? Like, and I guess you see that movie coming out soon, hopefully. But do you see yourself shooting any more movies lately that you came up with?
no, I haven't really put anything that I
Do
came
you
out with.
write with? Do you write movies?
No, I'm
do
not
you
a writer. No. I have ideas, but I'm not a screenwriter.
I feel you.
Yeah, I have a lot of ideas, but you need a screenwriter. You need somebody that can put those words and
So you
like
like,
that's a different talent.
yeah. So you like working with someone, like shooting, basically. You like being.
Yeah, like directing the cinematography. I mean, even the scheduling down to a science, but the writing and making believable characters and stuff. Like, if I took the time, I'm pretty sure I can. But that's just not my lane.
Yeah, I feel
With
you.
the film, I know the technical end of it.
You shoot dope movies
Yeah,
and
yeah.
shit like that. So
I know
that's
the
why I
technical
said
end.
if that's in you to shoot one that you wrote and put together
Yeah.
yourself.
I do want. There's something. I have one that's gonna just cost a lot of money because I know what it's gonna cost. I know what I need, and it's got to be a lot of stuff. Yeah,
So
I mean,
basically,
I gotta like
yours is
consult with a
still in the work.
psychiatrist.
Maybe down the line.
Yeah, this one deals with the character has schizophrenia and multiple personality disorders. So I don't want to make a bullshit character that's not true to what goes on through a person's head when they're in that. So I like even just that character. I have to consult with a psychiatrist, and they have to kind of look at the script and say that person doesn't do that. Like it has to be close enough to reality. It is entertainment. It's supposed to be a movie. There's gonna be some creative freedoms, right? But there's got to be right. Yeah. So even that's one aspect. In writing the character, it's in my head. It's just if I write, it's gonna be corny. It's gonna be subpar.
So you gotta pretty much tell someone the idea and then have them put it together.
Yeah, I just gotta have a vocal conversation and have somebody write it, look at it, edit, and shape it. Then go into the technical aspect of it.
Yeah, I know exactly. Trust me, I know the whole.
It's gonna be 100 racks, bro.
Yeah,
and that's just being like cheap.
Cheap. Okay.
And the time I gotta take off.
Yeah, you gotta take a lot of time off to do that shit.
Shooting it won't be bad. Like it's just taking time off at all. It's just not.
You gotta take time off to structure that shit, book the locations.
Yeah.
Then you gotta take time off to shoot it. Then you gotta take time off to edit it. Then you gotta take time off to market it.
That's another thing. Yeah, man.
See, there's a lot behind everything, so everything costs money. So you gotta, for certain things. That's why I said, do you ever see yourself shooting? So that's dope. You do have a movie in mind. It's just not in your budget right now. So,
yeah, no, I can't. Not the right way. Nah, not the right way.
Down the line, maybe.
You know,
you blow up a little bit more.
Yeah, all the short films I've done are, other people wrote them and it was perfect because they wrote them. And even though they're not like, Academy Award winners, it's their story. I don't have I just gotta help them supervise the script and it's different. And their story's dope.
So for Escobar Films, do you have like other people that work with you and things like that?
Sometimes I can't think of somebody. I think of somebody. Her name is Katie.
Yeah. So you have other people like that take pictures behind the scenes and probably shoot
not usually.
videos?
She came along to do some behind the scenes and some stuff, but she's definitely done a lot of work with me as far as behind the scenes. And now I say behind the scenes, not just capturing it, but like just the logistics, passing the tool or
so when you need people, you like outbranch or you call your people's to work with?
Mostly for films. Yeah, that's when you really need a crew of people that have a
for what you do.
This is your role. That's different. Like with her, she can play a lot of different roles, like between the behind the scenes or if I need help holding something. It's very open ended with Katie. But for film, you gotta hey, you don't worry about anything other than holding the mic, right? Or don't worry about anything other than the catering side of it, or make sure everybody fills out this. It's more.
It's a lot of jobs,
and it's paid.
Yeah, exactly.
It's paid from the top. You know what I mean?
So a lot. So everything you do is just you, pretty much, and then you have someone like Katie around to help you.
Yeah, when it makes sense for everybody too, for her too, because she's her own entity too.
Yeah,
she's not my employee.
Yeah,
she's she has her own production, her own goals, so it has to reflect on her time and her worth too. But,
makes sense, 100%.
She's always down. She's never said no, but it does. I do have to be mindful because I do have my experiences with interns and people in my early time, and there's always expectations. So I'm just very careful about who I expose to what I do and how I do it. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get you. I get you.
If I can say anything for Katie, she's proven really loyal and focused, and because she has her own goals.
Yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. So down the line, you don't see yourself building up, hiring a few people to help you shoot
it all predicates around the money.
So you gotta
make predicates around the money. If I get a client, if I go into a place where, the average budget for music video is $8,000 to $10,000. Yeah, I can't walk into a $10,000 video by myself. They'll look at me crazy. Even if I have to hire people to stand around, it'll be just that's the kind of. I know what to do with it. I've been doing a lot with what I got or whatever the budget from the client is, but that's different. That's a whole different
Yeah,
game.
you do a lot by yourself, but
Yeah.
like that's good.
So that
I was
allows
just
me to
curious
do
because you
more.
got a lot of equipment. You shit not light. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's why I was just curious if like you have people like that work with
I should.
you.
I mean, again,
And then
it's
you
just the
may be
market.
a little protege coming up one day, maybe, you know.
Who knows? Yeah. Nah, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna be my age forever, but
Maybe
you know,
start finding people like that could edit for you,
yeah.
like
It's
so you
just
could
no
just
process
shoot.
because
And,
vetting and stuff like editing is another part. It's very hard for me to trust people with that because at the end of the day, a lot of my interactions with my clients are like, you're the first person to be talking to, and you're the last person I talk to at the end of the project. I don't have you. I'm not gonna give forward to the editor or, you know. So
I get what you're saying.
and I'm micromanage. So if I give somebody a full responsibility like that, I might as well just be there. And then I'm like, well, I'm paying somebody to just me be there. Like, and I hate that because I've worked. I used to work. I've had micromanagers. I have people over my shoulder watching what I'm doing.
Mhm.
I can't do that.
I hate that shit.
So if
too.
I like, and
that
it's not
shit with
just
a
bad for me,
passion.
but it's bad for the person that is working because then they feel like they're not an asset.
Mhm.
Like if I hire you, and then every time you're doing something, you like, I gotta let you finish your process. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't, nobody watches me edit because they're gonna try to micromanage my process. Like, slow down.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna show you a rough draft. I'm gonna show you my director's cut, and then we're gonna go do changes if they're needed.
Mhm.
And I like some people can't. I'm not comfortable with that. That's not my market then. So if I'm watching you do your process, you get results. I know what you do, but I'm questioning your process because I'm exposed to it, and it doesn't make sense halfway, right? Because it's not supposed to. Because I'm not you.
Exactly.
So
It's
as
true.
a boss, I will be on your shoulder unnecessarily, and now it's not only annoying for me, but now again, you're not gonna feel like an asset to my company. You're gonna feel like
I'm annoying you.
like a temporary fix, and like that's not it doesn't work.
I get you. I get you.
But with a real money, like if you hire somebody, you gotta have a plan to feed that person for 6 months, even if you don't make profit.
that's
Otherwise, it's not really
100% true.
hiring. That's just basically contracting. Like I'll call you when I call you when I'm ready. So that's subcontracting. So I think that's why I'm able to work with her because she's her own entity. So if it works this week, it worked. But she's not putting all her eggs on the basket. Like she's
she's still
moving
doing
forward with
her
her
own
goals.
thing.
And
If she can't make
Yeah.
it, she can't make it. It's not a hard thing to
Yeah,
be
it's
like,
just-
nah,
yeah.
it's cool. Don't worry about it.
but it's tough with your brand. It's tough to.
Yeah, because you got a
Yeah.
dope brand, so you learn how to market your brand over. So you learn how to make money off of your videography, off of your studio, pretty much.
Yeah, studio was tricky, but it happened.
And then
Yeah.
you pretty much branded your whole dope ass brand over the last decade, pretty much by yourself, all the videos and everything.
I mean, me and the 160 plus clients.
Yeah, of course.
It wasn't just me rapping.
Shout out to the clients,
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
course.
Yeah, everybody has a part.
And the support. That's support.
Yeah.
Like, so that's dope that you
Yeah,
did
the
all of
support, the people. I mean, obviously, the friends and the advice and little gems that people drop throughout the years. So yeah, I mean, the technical work is just me, but it's just the buildup of my reflection of how I deal with my community, I guess.
That's fire. Okay, I love it. I love it. That's like, cause nigga, you shoot some dope shit. Like, let me be
I
one
appreciate
to
that.
big you up and shout you out as a fellow
No, I really appreciate, especially coming from
and
you.
in a person in that field. Like, so you definitely dope, and you've been consistent for many years. So keep on working, keep on pushing. I know it's already, you seeing some benefit out of it. So it's just gonna get better over time. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
keep on checking ahead.
Thank you.
Shout out your every platform that you got all your videos on, or your website.
Yeah. The website is edwinescobarfilms.com, and it's Director Escobar on IG.
Director Escobar.
Yeah, regular spelling. And Facebook is Edwin Escobar.
So you Escobar's son, great nephew or something like that?
We'll be having this conversation. 30,000
You
feet
know,
in
I
a...
have to ask him because
on a
everybody's
jet.
like,
Nah.
Escobar.
It's just my father's
He
name.
went to Mexico a couple times already. You never know. Like,
Nah.
you got the plug, yo. You got the plug.
Plug for videos.
Oh, see, he's
Nah, that's just
smart.
my
See, that
father.
nigga is smart. You heard that nigga? See, I got the plug for videos.
Nah, my father come from a long line of coffee people, different stimulants. There's cocaine people, and then there's yeah. I'm from the coffee mountainside, small town.
Okay, that's what's up. Well, thank you for coming through.
Man, thank you for having me again. I told you we are gonna have a dope conversation.
Yeah,
anyway.
this is fun. This is fun. I like this one. This one's pretty interesting.
I didn't get to get deep and talk shit about Mayor Gandhi that much, but you know what? There's always next time.
Yeah, the last one you did get real on that one.
There's always time for that.
I don't know how we got into that subject, but we did.
We ended up there. No, we talked about violence, city, reaction, people, and all that, but you know. But yeah, nah, it was great being here, man.
Yo, but speaking of that, like, now that we got to go back to the city, now that you bring that up, like, so what do you feel about these niggas shooting niggas on the fucking courthouse?
I mean, these aren't 40-year-olds.
It's like, it's retarded going on right now.
Machine out there, man.
Yeah.
It's different now.
It's like retarded. Like,
It's disconnected. I mean, I always trace it back to we have a dysfunctional government, local government, educational system's trash.
Yeah,
It's one of the worst in the country right now. Like, in the country.
And we're like the
and
most
we're not
taxed
Detroit,
state.
right? We're not Flint or Detroit, but we're right there educational-wise. And it's just corrupt, man. It's just, I mean, we're not alone in being corrupt. I mean, if you're going to be a corrupt leader or mayor, at least make sure the people you are representing eat. So it's a lot to take in, but it's just incompetence. When there's corruption, people get put in positions that they don't have competency in, like the Board of Education right now. I'm sorry. It's people that should not be running the Board of Education.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know it's the
that.
parents' job. I
agree
get
with
that. People got mad at me. I commented on the comment on the News 12 thing, and somebody tried to. You don't even Bridgeport don't comment. You don't live with us, but it's everybody, right? So it takes a village. Parents, right? So parents, right? But parents are working 2 jobs to pay rent.
Yeah, it's crazy right
Single
now. You gotta
most
have
of the
2,
time.
3 jobs,
And
and,
then
you
you
gotta
have-
do Uber.
What? And then some people don't do it. They're not technology wise. Think about like a 50-year-old mother that's like, okay, my kid's a little crazy. Like, combine that with a shit education, right? And then angry, depressed kids. Like, what are you gonna get?
Yeah, it's craziness going on, bro.
It's like a video game.
And
to
now
them.
a 50-year-old mother's old, like.
It's not. We're not foreign
nowadays,
to
like,
it. It's just when you get older.
Niggas' mothers be like 32, and they like 18, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
That could be crazy too. But
This shit don't make no
parents
sense.
gotta be parents, but parents that don't have 100% of their kids' time. Kids spend what? Half a day in school.
Yeah, but it's like, to me, it's like younger people raising younger people, like, and
That's
basically,
valid. That's very
and
valid.
honestly, them raising them and not having time to raise them because they can't afford to, like, not work 2 jobs or not work, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just to keep a piece of shit apartment in
And
the
the
middle
plays
of
that
the
the
hood.
kids are going to in the morning till whatever, 3 p.m., whatever length school is now.
Yeah.
I mean, when I went to Central, I felt like a number. I didn't feel like a student. I felt like I had a student number, and all they care about was me being there for a budget. They didn't care about how I was doing. They care about me just being there. So I played the system. I dropped out in 9th grade. I went to homeroom so they wouldn't call my home, and they could get their number. Here, I'm here. You can get the money from the state, whatever, and go home. They didn't care. Like, I had 2 good teachers, and I went to their class when I could as a biology and history. But they were good. But they were on their
It
last
sound
leg.
like me in high school. I went to the class when I could.
But
ain't give a
I
fuck.
went to work, and I didn't feel like a person. I felt like a number.
That nigga house is
Yeah, my house was the skip spot. It was like every day was half a day. My mom was like, but I gotta go to work, so what the fuck am I gonna do? So, I mean, obviously I didn't turn out like that. So, but that was different. I'm an immigrant, so I have a different
mindset.
approach. But I can understand like how
So
someone
how
can
old were
be
you
young.
when you came over here, though?
I was 11.
11?
Yeah,
That's
young
right.
buck.
Young buck. But you
Yeah.
blew up over the
Yeah,
time.
I
You
mean,
still
where I was
young
born
buck.
and where I'm at right now I would never. I mean, you would never know. I don't think I know anybody from my town in this country. Not from the little Cuffy Mountains.
The Cuffy. He in the Cuffy.
Yeah, nah, yeah. I don't think I know anybody.
They
I think
don't
there's
grow
one person
no
in
nothing
Miami
out
that
there
I
in
know.
the Cuffy.
But yeah, a lot of stuff, man. We gotta have another one then.
Yeah, definitely gotta stop by. We're gonna end this with a big "Don't be mad" and have a great day.
Don't be mad. Be hype. Be hype. Be hype. Be hype.